Mohammed, who is talking about creativity. I think he can teach us something that we need to know. Go ahead, Mohammed.
Okay, so hope you're all doing well. So today's meeting is about, as Mrs. Lynn said, subjects called creativity. Now, what creativity is, it comes in different ways depending on your mindset. Creativity for you comes in like you being creative or actually improvising. Like when you improvise on a stage, whenever you forget your line or something like that. Or when you create something new, as in an invention. That's what creativity is to me. Now, I don't know what it is to you, but to me, that's what creativity is. Now, once you just got into creativity, well, creativity is a really long journey, and to be creative, you have to learn it, and you have to touch things in your life, touch things in your soul, and make them in different kinds of shapes. Because whenever you just act more, you talk more, you be more interactive, and more creativity will pop up in your life and when you're creating your soul. So basically, making creativity is not something, but forming it is something. So, what creativity is, as we said, it's something that can be formed and is when you create or improvise in any different way. But how do you get creativity into a child's mind, or how do you become creative? Now, becoming creative is something that I can't tell you you can learn because creativity is in us. We just have to find what we are creative in. For instance, I'm creative in improvising speeches, talking and just, speeches and being on the stage and whatnot. Maybe you're creative in tinfoil like the artist Osri we was with. Maybe you're creative with baking like Masa and Rama. Maybe you're creative with teaching like Mrs. Lynn. Maybe you're creative with lots of stuff, but how does that creativity form in you is the real question. It's basically when you put parts of your soul and you form them. And well, how that happens is you live your life normally until you get to that point where your creativity pops up. Because creativity is in your heart and it's in your brain. Because your brain thinks creatively about something and that thing is precise. If that thing is not there, it's basically not going to happen. Creativity will not be there. Now, creativity, as we said, is something that can be formed, that could be in any way improvising and whatnot. Something that you get to in a pit of life while forming your soul. Now, how to put that creativity in somebody else is another story. Well, you see, since I was a little kid, my mother always introduced me to something. Always introduced to the thing that you are creative in. I was introduced to I talked to myself in the mirror all the time when I was little, 3 and 4. Even now, I sometimes do it. So basically, maybe, obviously, Rama and Masa have been cooking since they were little. That's why they're creative with it. You guys have been teaching, or you have been inspired by teachers, and that's why you're creative with it. Because you think with a different mindset. Whatever the heck that is, mindset. Would you think with a different mindset? And that mindset changes every time because of your creativity. Because your brain is an actual being. It's not something that can be controlled. You have to tame it. You have to understand it. And once you creatively find something that will make that brain work and think in different ways and mindsets all the time, that's when you've actually activated your brain. People say you've activated your brain once you've invented. The invention was made out of creativity. Creativity is basically everywhere you go. And every single time, whenever you think of something, that thinking thought, that mindset in your brain always kicks in, and creativity always is, always is the thing that pops up. Because people always think and think and think, but they never really realize that creativity is what pushes them to think. you've never worked hard on a test, really, because you've always got that in your brain. You can't improvise a test. That's why I don't think school gives the best example for creativity. Now, a bit more tips on how to get creativity into somebody is asking them about how they feel. Because if you feel nice about something, it all goes back to your brain. It's not your heart or anything, because your heart is only something that keeps you alive. And they know in movies they say it's always in your heart. A heart is something filled with blood, not with memories or brain cells. It always goes to your brain, for real. And whenever it goes to your brain, you always have a different feeling. In your brain, there are like signals that go back to parts of the brain. There's a part where signals go, and then it go from part to part until they get to the part that they are going to be in. And, well, it's all just in your brain. Creativity is just in your brain. Now, how to put that in that child? You must ask him how he feels. How he feels as in the way he likes stuff and doesn't like stuff. Why don't you like eating vegetables? The color, the taste, the something, it all has a different meaning. It's not all just blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Because every single person's opinion has a creative and a different mindset. We're not all the same. We're not all made out of this. We don't have the same mother and the same family and the same stuff. We're all just differently combined, and we all had to go through stuff to combine ourselves and our souls. And by soul, I mean mindsets, and you know what. So another tip on how to get that creativity in is when you ask him about that thing that he doesn't like or likes. Get him into the details. If he likes the details, then he's going to be creative into something that is cut off to that thing. Half of that thing, double to that thing. Like, say, you ask him about a fruit. I like that because it's something that I want to taste more often. That gives you the idea of him being a chef. I like that because it's made of different things. That makes you think he's going to be a physicist or a chemical scientist. I like that because it's round shaped. That makes the mindset thing of being a mathematician or mathematics. So each and every time you think of something and give out an answer, there's a different equation, mindset, idea each and every time. The brain is not something, it's somebody. Okay, so another thing on how to get creativity into your child or niece or whatever, into the kid's brain, is getting him involved into lots of clubs, lots of content, lots of amazing, cool, awesome stuff. Like, I really like soccer, and I like arts, and now I really think creatively thanks to arts. Because we used to be in school where you did arts all the time, arts competitions, and the winners were always me and my team. But sometimes we lost, sometimes we won. And every time I painted a painting, I would always go, what do you want to paint and why? But I never thought that that would actually be a concept in my life that was called creativity. Now, whenever you paint something, every single artist is creative in any way, because how do you, sorry, my throat got a little pale there, because how do you paint something out of thin air, from your brain, to the paper? The white sheet of paper turned into a horse, a beautiful Mona Lisa, like Leonardo da Vinci did. It's creativity is everywhere, but for some reason, there's no creativity club or creativity union, or like, there's nothing about creativity, not in schools, not in society, not in the world. There's nothing about creativity. Nothing pushes creativity. Creativity wasn't invented. They had to be creative to make those drawings on the wall, to walk, to kill elephants, to eat them. They had to think creatively. They weren't robots that were like, must find something to eat, must find something to drink, and must leave a trail. That was all because they were living their lives creatively and differently. Why does all the same... I'll tell you what something every single age had. In the age of stones, nobody realized that creativity was something, well, obviously, you may say obviously, it was the age of stones, they couldn't even think. In the age of medieval cavalry and whatnot, why did nobody just go ahead and rival for creativity? The modern ages, the 60s, the 90s, the 80s, the 18s, the 17s, from the 1000, from the number 1 year, no one ever realized creativity was never a thing.
Okay. Yes. Yes,
no one
ma'am.
ever realized that creativity was a thing. And even in modern ages right now, there are few people who know about creativity but don't really apply something. My dream in the future is to be a physics scientist and accomplish my goals, obviously, and make clubs for each and everything a kid likes. A bad kid, I don't care. He's creative. He could make a change in the world. Even a person who picks up the garbage can make a change in the world. Now, why does it have to be different when jobs made? Because they think creatively, actually, no, this is not creativity. This is just for their own good. Companies pay people more to do stuff because they want more people to come in and to evolve. Why? Because if they don't have more people to come in to evolve, they wouldn't get the money they need to pay them and to pay themselves. Now, why does a garbage man get less than a person in a company? Well, because the only thing a company wants is for the people to come in for money. But the garbage man goes in to do his own work. He goes in to actually think and do his thing. He doesn't go in for the money, because money is always a prize. It's always at the end of the road. They just take it seriously and straight to the money. They think it's easy. That's why only 2% succeed, actually 1% succeed, and 99% always. That's also in a book called The Strangest, This Reality, or The Strangest Secret, it's called. That's why only 1% go into work and succeed, and 99% don't. Because it's on the mindset and in the creativity and in the brain. Now, another idea on how to make you like creativity is actually helping him, getting him into clubs. Now, once you get him into clubs, he'll obviously be more interactive. Now, when I say it goes back to the brain, you may grab different concepts. Like, Learn to Fit might have separately different concepts. Suki, Najit, and everybody else, they have different concepts. I want to say creativity, and when I say word to word to word. Whenever you think, you tap into that concept, it's always going to be different. And if it isn't, well then the answer is already in you. You already knew it. Because when a person says, I am fine, that is improvised. When a person says, I am fine, that is improvised straight from the brain, straight from the creativity. When a person says, okay, thank you, how about you? That's actually something they teach you to say in school. So he was prepared? Like what? That means he was never introduced to creativity or something. Now, how to get your kid involved in creativity and creativity, one thing, is a big part of the kid's future. Number two, it's really important in our society, in our world, in our family, everywhere we go. Number three, we actually need creativity more than studying. Because how did Aristotle, how did Albert Einstein, how did every single scientist create mathematics and whatnot? They thought creatively. They did not go like, I'm going to make a robot because that's something that is cool and whatnot. They made a robot for a creative purpose to serve mankind. Leonardo da Vinci made Mona Lisa. And that is the biggest art at all. Because when it taps into your mindset, the actual fact about Mona Lisa is that when it's neither sad or happy. And she wasn't a real person. The fact about Mona Lisa was whenever you saw her, it was your brain that tapped in to see. If you were happy, it would make it happy. If you were sad, it would make it sad. And it's an actual fact, because we read that in school. And it was just a straight line here with black on it. That's the only thing that defined that it would be. That's the creative part. Why didn't he just draw lips and just leave them there? No. He thought creatively that, well, I'll draw a straight line. If anyone thinks they're happy, they're happy. If anyone thinks they're sad, they're sad. I'm going to leave it like that. Because every single scientist in the world had creativity in them. And now, what's the worst thing that ever could happen to your creativity? School. 1 minute, my throat's a little pale. I gotta drink some water.
That's true.
Yeah. Muhammad,
Yeah.
I guess, can you just stop and open stage for others to ask any question? Why? Because you are perfect, but too long speeches can cut the thinking of everyone. So I'm not
I
stopping
agree
you.
with you.
I'm not stopping you, but too long is not admissible with anyone. Anyway, I don't stop you. So, what do you think?
I think it's great. If anybody has anything they want to say at this point,
Yes.
I do. I'll start with me.
How does he know so much?
Yeah.
Oh, great
Wow.
question.
Uh,
Did you hear that, Mohammed?
Repeat, Rama.
How do you know that so much?
Yeah.
Good
Go ahead.
job.
I just read books, and it appears that living your life normally while reading books and going into other stuff can be very appealing and helpful. Because I
Yeah.
literally improvised this speech right now. This was not prepared.
Okay.
This was actually
Yeah, good.
improvised.
He done great job, and that was so hard and great.
Thank
Okay,
Trying to
go
remember.
ahead.
I think that when you have creativity, it's sort of like having a passion for something. Like when I write, when I'm writing about something I know Suki is shaking her head because she feels the same way. She's a writer.
Yeah.
When I write, I feel the passion coming. And if I don't, then it doesn't turn out the same way as the time that I'm going to feel the passion.
Yeah.
I mean, I've written a lot of things that I haven't published.
Writing is something that you're creative in. When you hear the aspect writing, boom, your brain changes straight up the mindset, then signals around your whole entire brain to the part where you need to speak and your body can act. Because creativity is something that could actually affect somebody in such a big way that if every single community, society, if the whole entire world supported creativity, you wouldn't find anybody stealing anything. Because if they were creative, thanks to their father and mother, if they were creative and they put them in clubs, they weren't bad. Even a bully could be creative because he's creative in punching. Make him a specialized boxer. That's a great sport. Make him a person who's okay and good. And don't worry, if anyone forgets anything, I'm going to do a recap at the end. Don't worry, this is not, it's improvised, but I got it in my brain. So, any more questions?
Yeah,
No, I
sure.
want to say I have something else too.
Okay.
It's not a question, it's a statement. I do agree with you when you say school can ruin your creativity or stop it. And I know Suki agrees with you because she's smiling. But I have to say that if you have the right teacher who cares about creativity and who wants to inspire you to do the right thing and to teach you that what you say, you should go off on your own tangents and be creative, then it's good. Not every teacher kills your creativity. Some do. Right, Suki?
One thing.
If he doesn't read a story, he's still good.